At cornerback, the Eagles are backed into a bit of a corner. What's up? It's your boy Cintron. Come back after another analysis video and plus news. And I kid you not, that's my real name. And today we're looking at another edition of Eagles Stay or Go. And this time it's the cornerback position. And we'll look at slot, nickel, dime, all that. I was trying to think of something snazzy to say, but it ain't come to mind. So anyways, let's get into the first guy we have on this list. Let's see who it is. It is one Darius Slay. And, he had a good season, a very solid season, a Pro Bowl season, in fact. An all-pro beginning, especially when he shut down Justin Jefferson in week 2, who plays for the Vikings, shadowing him all day, being deployed, I should say, how he should have been the whole entire season. But we all know our defensive coordinator, or our ex-defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, is a meow. So he doesn't have the balls or the heart to call the game tight and to trust those guys, those veterans. These are not rookies. These are not second-year, third-year players. These veterans in the league, to let them go out and do what they do best. And Slay specifically being a man corner, that's what we brought him in to do from Detroit. And what he was known, for making his bones over there, in the Motor City, locking guys down, trailing them, being competitive all game. And we just let him get bored out there on the corner. Being content with him selling nickel and dime bags instead of going for the big wholesale. Not to bring drugs into this thing, but maybe it makes it more understandable or palatable for you. But it's just crazy that the Chiefs started 2 and at times 3 rookies in that conference game, I think, against the Bengals. And Steve Spagnuolo, he's a veteran D coordinator, but he trusted those guys more than we trusted vested veterans in this league at their positions to do what they do. And that spoke volumes to why we lost that fucking game, unprepared and pussified as fuck. Just calling a spade a spade. Glad Gannon is the fuck up out of here. But we'll see what Sean Desai, will make of this defense. I mean, he's going to have less talent, less, pieces to work with. We're going to have to bring in some guys who, are going to be green, no pun intended, either by way of, coming in just from the college ranks or coming into this system. As well, our guys are going to be learning on the fly as well, because it's schematically, it's similar to what we ran last year. And that we're going to get after the quarterback with the front four most likely. But, Desai has his own plans, his own imprint to make on his team, and his own machinations that he has, for the defense that is different enough from Jonathan Gannon. And, warranted him getting this job. But, I'm not a supporter. I'm going to be, going through his defense with a fine tooth comb. Anytime he makes a mistake, I'm going to be, there with a fucking magnifying glass, putting that light to either turns bright red or gets the fuck out of the spotlight, aka changing, what doesn't work. So hopefully he can make adjustments, but, we'll see. But this is not a video about him. This is about, the pieces that we have in play. And Slay is on the last year of his deal here. If he's extended beyond that, which might not be a bad idea, because going beyond this, we would have whoever we bring in and the remaining guys, like Avonte Maddox being the sole, remainders from the 2022 season at corner, and stripped away of most of his veteran presence, that is highly talented. And Slay, he's still that guy. He never not was, he tailed off towards the end of the year, but I believe that was more of an issue of usage and not to do with his actual talent, because it just didn't drop off the face of the earth. He didn't just blanket Justin Jefferson out of nowhere. It was always there, but he just wasn't put in position to succeed, man. It's sad to say, because we had all the potential in the world, and we were 3 points away from tying, and maybe a last minute touchdown away from winning that game. With all that happened, with not getting a fucking stop, not one in the second half against the Chiefs, and we were still in position to win the game if we got the ball back with enough time. And I want to say just enough to just give Jalen enough time just to see, just to have the Chiefs fuck around and see what happens. Just fuck around and find out. But it played out how it did, and that's it. But we'll see what how he's deployed and what the trust level is between him and the D coordinator. Him and C.J. Gardner-Johnson championed Denard Wilson, who was fired, and following that hired by the Ravens like that, because he's a talented coach, and talent recognize the talent, and they're gonna bring those guys in and put a premium on that. So they were annoyed / pissed off that he didn't get the job, but I didn't want to see another disciple again, or anyone. He's still in the Vic Fangio tree, but still just. Yeah, that guy just had to go because the way he called things. But I'll have to say, yeah, Slay, stay or go. Slay's gonna stay, but for how long is the question? Because they could, like I said, extending him. Went off on a tangent, sorry, but extending him could lower the cap number for this year and allow us some free agency to operate in free agency. Didn't mean to go pun there, but that's just how my mind works. Anyways, let's move to the next guy. One James Bradbury the fourth. That's kind of just incredible. 4 guys, generational. Naming a guy, same name. But anyways, stay or go. This is easy. He's gonna go. He's gonna get out of here. He had a top 10 season and All Pro season, second team All Pro here in Philly. A cheap one year deal. I think it was worth $7 million or $10 million. I want to say 7. And he was just left for dead. Cap casualty. Giants. They were up against the cap. They let him go late, and then we just pounced because it was you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You just say yes. Brought him in, and that tandem of him and Slay just played lights out, locked down people for the majority the majority of the year, and we had the number 1 pass defense because of it. So the proof is in the pudding. Would love to bring him back, to run it back, but he's just gonna price himself out of Philadelphia, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. We're not gonna be able to retain most of our free agents. So I think we have 11 defensive free agents, and then 7 of those are starters, and then the other 4 are playing significant snaps. Even Suh and Ndamukong Suh. Forgot here. Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph played meaningful snaps because they're veterans. They were trusted, over the younger guys, and they know how to play in this league. So, but they're out of here. I mean, it's not going to hurt more so on the wholesale, but just the impact of so many people. I think 40 defensive tackles leaving, including a starter, and we'll get to those rotational guys. But we'll see. Yeah, see what happens. Yeah, I mean, Bradbury. I'm not so sad to see him go, but because I just want us to draft a corner and draft one of the trio. Joey Porter out of Penn State, Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, formerly Colorado University, or Witherspoon out of Illinois. And I actually have it Gonzalez, Porter, then Witherspoon. And then Deonte Banks out of Maryland is also a decent option. And then at the bottom of that, number 5, I would rank out that quintuplet with Keely Ringo from Georgia. He's big, but needs to play with more consistency and play more up to his talent level and learn in this league to truly maximize his potential. But that's neither here nor there because we don't know what we're going. First will come free agency, then will come the draft. So we'll see how they fill in the roster in the interim before the draft comes. Avonte Maddox, just one word sums up his tenure here: availability. When the guy is on the field, he plays lights out. He was having a hell of a game against Dallas. I think if he finishes that game, we win that game against Dallas. But unfortunately, he went out. He missed a couple games. and then before that he got hurt, came back, and then got hurt again, and it just was up and down, and he missed 4 weeks 4 and 5, then 10, 11, 12, 13, then 17 and 18 in the divisional round against the Giants. Like, so, yeah, it's like, can he stay on the field? I don't trust him to stay on the field. You hope for the best, and it's been on the balance of probabilities. Avonte Maddox is not going to finish out a season, even if he plays the majority of the season. That's cool. So we need to invest in insurance policy, bringing a guy through the draft or in free agency. I prefer the draft because it's a cheaper route, and we really are strapped for cash this offseason. There's 13 and I think between 13 and 15 guys at quarter that have at least a third round grade, which is a starter in this league, and we should take full advantage and draft a couple of those guys, a slot guy, as well as I would say at least 2 if he can. I don't think we're gonna have enough picks, but ideally 2 corners that play on the outside and one that plays on the interior. And look for the street free agents as well. Priority free agents that are going to be signed after the draft. Compete for those guys, give them the biggest contracts we have out there. Do whatever you got to do to acquire their services. But Avonte Maddox, just if he can play, yay. If he's out, our lineup is in doubt. Zach McPherson, just another guy who's we brought him in, and he doesn't have the chance to show his stuff, so we don't know. He's a big unknown. I'd like to say give him a chance, but then that's risky, because looking good in camp, having a solid training camp, and then preseason and all that stuff. When those live bullets are being fired, you can't. Your confidence tanks, and it often does. When results aren't going your way, it's hard for dudes to stay in the game mentally. Once that's gone, you're just a body out there, which is similar to the guy we'll get to next. I don't think he ever gave up, but he just had to be weighing on him heavy on his shoulders. So we don't know, and he's staying obviously, but he's replaceable because we can bring in somebody that is above him in talent, even though we don't know what we have in him. So one Josiah Scott, this guy got fucking fried during the whole damn season, and it just is what it is. He was rookie coming in, and he just had so much on his plate and so much responsibility. And put such a spotlight when the talent level between him and Avonte Maddox was just a steep gap, and it just can't be helped. The guy's in his first year, and then he moonlighted at safety as well. Just several games, particularly that 3rd and 30, or the 4th and 30, I think it was in Dallas. I think 3rd and 30, 3rd and 30, and just ridiculous that he didn't get enough depth to cover that play, and made the surrounding players look bad as well because they looked like they were had to cover for him because Slay had to cover for him because he wasn't where he needed to be. And that's just a lot to put on that guy's shoulders. But it was telling that they didn't really play him after that. Why would you? But I don't even say he lost confidence. We lost confidence anyway, just we had better options. So, he was a backup. We just weren't looking for him to start. But I don't know. It says go, but I don't know. If he was just on a 1-year free agent deal or whatever, street free agent, priority free agent deal, but I wouldn't be sad to see him go. So he's inconsequential. All right, the last guy we're looking at, Josh Jobe, JJ, Double Joe, JoJo, the anime character. Anyways, he didn't get a lot of playing time as well. He's in the same class as Zach McPherson. We don't know what the hell he is, and he's on special teams ace, and valuable guy just to have, but. You're gonna need guys like this on the roster that just that fill it out and they're there. But ideally speaking, you'd want a guy that started or was solid in college, but just because of the depth of the roster, they're just there waiting, but they have the talent to play up to the level of competition if their number is called upon. This guy we don't know, we just don't. So stay, but same as guys above, Zach McPherson. Easily replaceable. So let's look at some news around the league. We have a little bit to look here. And this is a theme that's been hit on with Philly 500 and was Joey Shakes, 72, some Philly um, podcasters, content creators. Harry Roseman is purportedly playing the compensatory pick game, where we're going to lose so many free agents, not bring in so many free agents that weren't released, which would those guys who were released don't count, don't factor into the compensatory pick equation. So guys, if they get signed away to big contracts and just by virtue of losing them, we get compensatory picks anywhere from a third rounder to a seventh rounder, and we can get probably a record number of picks because we're losing so many guys. Just 11 on defense scheduled, just as is, and then there's a couple key ones on offense as well. So yeah, man, that would be great, but those picks wouldn't hit till 2024. So we wouldn't gain anything this offseason, but we would be counting on that, and that would be a huge amount of draft capital going into next year. So I wonder, does that factor into the equation in the draft, with the second round pick, us being able, we use that as a liquid asset to sell, trying to move up or move, with the first, pick, the 10th overall pick or the 30th overall pick in the draft to acquire somebody. Let's just say, for example, if Bijan Robinson slips and how he, pulls his head out of his ass and recognizes that if you make this offense into a juggernaut, turn it from an elite offense to a juggernaut of offense that just can't be stopped by putting in a running back, a star running back, and or a good quality running back, an upper echelon or guy that's an 8 out of 10 at least, has a potential, or so I would say ideally slot receiver that's a beast. Like, just say for example we get Tennessee Justin Hyatt. That would, oh my goodness, this offense would be so fucking dynamic, because with we're calculating that we're gonna lose a certain number of people on defense, and that's gonna leave us bereft of talent, compared to last season, and we don't know, we're gonna have a new coordinator, new pieces, and then a new system. Like, that leaves a lot left up to the imagination, and it can go either way. So one thing you can count on, lean on your offense that it's a beast, can be counted on to go out there and just outscore people, and the defense just needs to be competent, not special, not great, just competent. And I don't think it was completely backslide into a bottom half of the league team on defense, but some adjustments are going to need to be made, and patience is going to need to be exercised. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that is I think it's a good strategy, because we need to build primarily through the draft with Jalen Hurts set to get upwards of $50 million, and that's going to severely limit the moves we can make moving forward with a quarterback. Great, you find a quarterback in the future. With that comes a salary cap restriction. All right, item number 2: Bobby Wagner headed back to the Seahawks. He could be. That would be great for them. He still has, I would say, maybe 2 good years left in him. He's only 32 years old, but had a Pro Bowl season last year. If he didn't leave the league, like, it was like the tops, a huge amount of tackles. It was like 150 or over. Had an impact with the Rams there, the division rival. But yeah, man, still a quality player. I would say bring him in here. Wouldn't hit anybody. I would take him over TJ Edwards for a season, just a season rental. But the price tag, wasn't looking like, because like I said earlier in this video, we're capped, strapped. So, yeah, I'd love to bring him in, even just to kick the tires. But like I said, he'd probably most likely, be too expensive for us. All right, next, the Texans lose a 5th round pick, draft pick, for cap violation. So they got fined $175,000 for I forget what it was, for I think it was maybe talking to somebody. No, for not paying, for trying to go around having the players go to this gym, not undisclosed location, but instead of just putting it, taking it from the player's salary. So they try to get cute, basically, and they try to feign ignorance. Oh, we didn't, know it technically would be an issue. You have a guy that handles these things and knows the rule book like the back of his hand, don't try to skirt the issues. Take accountability. That's what I hate about some of these issues in teams and all, leadership and all. So they'll try to skirt accountability. Like, well, we didn't know. You should have somebody on a payroll that you pay to know this kind of shit. So don't even try to go there. You got fined, and luckily it isn't pricier than that. You got off easy because you have, I think, the second or third overall pick, and then you have the 12th pick. So if they wanted to, they could have sent a stronger message. Only a fifth, it's a light slap on the wrist. All right, next. Odell Beckham Jr. is holding workouts for, holding a workout for teams on Friday, so tomorrow. Don't really care. Who should be interested? The Cowboys or some team like that. Just even with their financial situation, Jerry Jones, he's the type of owner that just tells you everything you need to know about the Cowboys organization, who hasn't seen, I think, the Super Bowl since for 28 years, and he'll be going on 29 this year because they ain't going. But that they're concerned with a declining player that is more bark than bite right now in his career. So whatever, hey, cry Dallas cry, suck Dallas suck. Go ahead, No real team is showing up to that workout. They'll just watch the Vimeo or whatever it is. Yeah, that platform that's on should tell you all you need to know about the situation. All right, next. Vikings, Zadarius Smith requests his release. So he didn't have the impact, the revenge factor. He went to a division rival coming from the Packers over to the Vikings, and he just didn't have the impact that he thought he would. So he requested his release, get him back out there on the market, before free agency, give himself a head up at, negotiating for teams. I don't think we would bring him in. He's old, and while he can still, provide, some pass rush juice. Like I said, it's just better to develop players than to, bring in mercenaries. And like guys like and Brandon Garrett might give us a hometown discount because, he's been with us, from jump. But guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson and what's his name? Another guy, forget, James Bradbury. They don't owe us anything. They were here for a year. They got to their preferred stage, just didn't finish the job. But it is what it is. All right, we'll close up here with the Eagles sign ex-Temple and D coordinator. He's been a D coordinator at a couple of spots actually. Elliott to be the linebackers coach. I love this signing because he has a lot of experience. He can help out the new D coordinator. And this has got to be a signing that, he has his stamp of approval on. They've given him full authority to bring in the guys that he wants. And I think that's why Denard Wilson is no longer here. Why he's a Raven coach, because he just didn't, maybe see eye to eye with the guy, or just, he felt comfortable with someone else. So hopefully they announce that signing as well soon, the DB coach who we're bringing in. But, it's just, kind of politics on that front. But, you're old, your staff, let the guy, shop. Like Bill Barcells said, if you're going to put me in charge of cooking, let me at least go out and acquire the ingredients myself, what I want. So that's all you can ask for. And we'll see. I think he'll be a great addition to the staff, but I want to find out more about him. Anyways, we'll end on that note. But, you're not even watching, though. So I'm going to say what I always say. Fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.